How to carry the first minute of a conversation with a woman that you're attracted to. I want to show you guys the first minute of an entire interaction that I ran with a woman recently that was very attractive. But more importantly, there's one recurring technique that I use to carry and run a fun, engaging conversation that ultimately gets this woman hooked into me. That first minute, when ran properly, actually ended up buying me 10 minutes in this interaction that ultimately led to a phone number that led to a date. So I want to show you guys this concept. I'm going to demonstrate it live, showing you these clips, and that way you can start to do it in your own interactions as well. Now, me personally, I was really bad at conversation skills. I was very antisocial. I didn't even go to my high school prom. I was literally afraid to ask a woman to go to the dance with me, and there was no way in hell I was gonna go up and approach a woman, let alone a woman that I was attracted to, and flirt with her and get her phone number and run a date. That was impossible for me. All right, that was over 10 years ago though. I'm 35 years old now. I've spent a really long time learning conversation skills. I've interacted with thousands of women, and I've coached almost 1,000+ men at this point to be able to do the same. And so after breaking down so many different conversations, there's one concept I noticed that continuously is coming up in the beginning of an interaction. And if you could get really good at this one technique, you can pretty much carry any conversation in a fun, engaging way that could ultimately lead to you going on a date with that woman. And so I want to jump in and break down the first minute of this interaction for you guys. But if you're interested in learning more about my journey, the transformation I made, the clients I help, or more details about my coaching program and how I can help you achieve your dream dating life, click the link down below. Check out the full in-depth training I've put together where I go over all of that and a lot more. Link is in the description. Be sure to watch that video. So let's get into it. The main concept that I want to explain in today's video is going to be making observations about the woman. Most men, they ask so many questions, they barely carry the conversation at all, and they don't make observations. So the conversation just stays on this surface level, question, answer. It never becomes about the girl. It never becomes flirty. It's a lot of interviewee type mode. And the way to get off of that and get into fun interactions is by making observations. So let's look at the first couple seconds of this clip, and I'll show you guys how I'm consistently doing that to carry the first minute of this interaction.
Hey, excuse me. Hi. I actually just saw you back there with the red dress. I thought you looked really cute.
So even off the initial open, it actually is making an observation. I do give a little bit of context. It's a relatively direct open. I said, hey, excuse me, with a smile. She stops. I look over. I said, I actually just saw you walking by with the red dress, by the way. So a lot of times on my channel, I tell guys, if you're going to open and be direct, you just say, hey, I saw you walking by. I thought you looked cute. I wanted to come say hi. I wanted to come meet you really quick, right? And I take that line, but I just add in some level of authenticity to it. I just make it relevant about her. She's wearing this red dress, so I point that out in the open. Saw you walking by, and I thought you looked really cute with this red dress, and I wanted to come say hi really quick, right? That's the open.
I actually just saw you back there with the red dress. I thought you looked really cute. Just wanted to say what's up really quick. What's your accent? London? You talk very soft. Oh my God.
And notice that the moment that I open, she says, thank you. All she says is thank you. And honestly, a lot of men at that point would maybe even get in their head and not know where to take the conversation. They might just say, how's your day going? Oh, okay. Mine's good. How about you? Right? And it just gets into this weird thing. Instead, what do you notice about the woman that you could point out? I already pointed out her red dress. The next thing is, even though she just said thank you, she said it in a way where I could tell her accent actually wasn't from here. So I first said, oh, wait, what's your accent? And she then says she's from London. And then notice right from there, I said, oh, London? And she said, yeah, London. I said, wow, you talk very slow and soft. Oh my God. That is another observation. I'm not going into question, answer, resume exchange. You live here. How old are you? I'm just talking about what I'm noticing in real time. So she said something. There was an accent. I pointed that out. I said, oh, you're from London. She said, yeah, London. I said, oh my God, you talk so soft and slow, right? It's another observation, but pay attention to my delivery. I'm not saying observations in like a judgmental way. I'm like, you're from London? Wait, that's an accent? You talk really soft. No, it's fun. It's playful. I'm fascinated. I'm having fun, and I'm relaxed and confident. Wow, you talk really soft. Right? I'm just pointing that out. That's my observation so far, and we're 16 seconds into the conversation.
You understand what I'm saying or no?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just said you have like very like soft, like quiet.
Yeah.
Are you just like shy girl, or what are you all dressed up for?
Now, she doesn't respond much to it, and so I'm starting to wonder if she actually speaks fluent English. So I just say it again, and then I elaborate on it, and then I actually end up going back to the initial observation about her red dress. So I said, yeah, it's just like a little quiet. Are you a little bit of like a shy girl? And then I go into, wait, what are you all dressed up for? So again, back to observation.
What are you all dressed up for?
I'm not dressed up. I dress like this.
No way. This is
your.
your.
I'm going to that place.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go to my building anyway. Oh, are you meeting somebody, or what are you doing?
I came to do shopping, but I didn't like anything, so I'm just in the area.
Nothing was up to your standard?
No.
You're like super fancy fashion girl, or what?
So she actually says that she's not dressed up. This is just how she normally dresses, which is something to point out. Okay, she clearly has like fashion, and this is how she likes to dress up fancy. So we can take that and tease her on it or make playful assumptions about it in the future. But that's just, I take a little mental note of that. And then I asked her what she's up to. She said she's going to be meeting up with a friend in a minute. And she said she was shopping. And so all I said is, oh, okay, so nothing was up to your standard, right? Implying that she's like a fancy little shopper. And I said, wait, you're like this super fancy type fashion girl. So pay attention to the delivery when I'm making these observations. I'm literally just pointing out the things that I'm noticing about her in real time.
You're like super fancy fashion girl, or what?
No, it's just that I'm going out tonight, and I was just looking for an outfit.
So what do you look like when you're dressed up? I'm so curious.
She then says that she's going out for the night, at which point I then said, wait, so I'm so curious, like, if this is you dressed down, like, what do you look like when you're actually dressed up to go out for the night? And now we're literally at just over a minute into the interaction. And look, guys, I didn't say anything crazy in this interaction. All I really pointed out was initially I thought she looked cute. I know she had the red dress. She has a accent from London that I pointed out. She speaks a little shy, a little quiet, a little reserved initially. And she was shopping. Nothing must have met her standard. What does it look like when she's actually dressed up? There's been zero, wait, what's your name? What do you do for fun? No resume exchange, just pointing out observations and having fun in the interaction and being able to stay calm through that process. And I'm aware that that takes a little bit of repetition and experience, but once you can get over that hump of just being able to stay calm in the conversation and just point out things that you notice about the girl, you can actually have a very natural, fun conversation. And that's the first minute of the conversation. I'm in no rush. I'm not trying to close. I'm not trying to get her phone number just yet. I'm literally just chilling out, vibing with the woman, getting to know her, making a little bit of jokes, a little bit of get to know you talk, and I'm going to sprinkle in more of that over the upcoming minutes. But that's how I ran the first minute of this interaction, and I did that for the next 6 minutes. Obviously, we changed topics, and I talked a little bit more about myself. I got to know her a little bit more. I injected a little bit more flirtatiousness, but that was the first 6 minutes, and then I went and walked with her down the block for a couple of blocks, and we kept the conversation going, and that led to a phone number to set up plans for the weekend. So less questions, less interview, resume exchange, more observations, more assumptions, more pointing out things about the woman that you notice in real time with a little bit of a light, fun, playful delivery is what's ultimately going to spice up the conversation, make it fun, provoke the right emotions that we want, and that sets us up to run the rest of the conversation properly to actually land a date. So that's a really great technique to start using in your interactions. Obviously, it's just one part of a conversation. So if you want to know the full structure that you should be running to start landing dates consistently, be sure to check out this video right here. Or if you're done watching YouTube content and you're actually ready to make a change, you could click the link down below for the in-depth training. I talk more about my journey, my program, the clients I help, and how I can help you achieve your dream dating life. Link is down below. Click that right now. That's all for this video, guys. Peace out.